Hi, this is Jason with Revan Optics. Today we're going to show you the difference between the Oakley Juliet frames and the Oakley X-Metal XX. They look very similar, so we want you to be able to identify which frames you own so you can choose the correct lenses for them. The new lenses can kind of customize the look or functionality, so yeah, we really hope you enjoy this video. Today I'm going to show you really the differences between two frames here, the Oakley Juliet and the Oakley X-Metal XX. They're both all metal frames. They're very, very subtle differences. The temples, these particular temples are called hammer temples. Again, you can see that they're very similar on both models. And some of them will have straight temples for both frames. So it is hard to differentiate the two, so I hope this video gives you a little bit of insight into which frames you actually have. The easiest way to tell, because they are so similar, is to actually measure the frames and at the front here. So the major difference is actually the height of the lens between the two. So measuring helps out a lot. The Juliet, if you measure from the tallest point, is actually going to be 36 millimeters tall on both sides. And then the X-Metal XX is going to be 40 millimeters tall. So a difference of 4 millimeters, which isn't much at all, but it's substantial enough that the lenses are not interchangeable between the two. So if you ever need to replace your lenses, you cannot take your Juliet lenses and put them in the X-Metal XX and vice versa. If you do, they'll be very loose and not a good fit. So other than that, there are really not a whole lot of differences between the two. So the best way, or really any differences, the best way to do that is to get something that will measure in millimeters and measure both just measure the height of your lens. If it's about 40 millimeters tall, then you have the X-Metal XX. And if it's 36 or right around there, then you have the Oakley Juliet frame. If you have any questions about your frame, you can always shoot us an email at support@revanoptics.com, and we'll be happy to take a look and give you some advice how to figure out which frame you have. You can also go to our website, revanoptics.com. There's a lot of information there. And you'll see on our site too that we have some images that show the difference between the two, just the height difference for this particular frame. But yeah, we hope that this video and doing that measurement helps you determine which frames you have, and hope to hear from you soon.